Okay, hey guys. This video is different than what I normally do, but the Nintendo Direct came out today, yesterday from the time this video is probably coming out, and we finally got some information about the Switch 2, and there's a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about. There's a lot of great stuff about the Switch 2. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not upset about, but confused about. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly go over my thoughts about that. Some of the great things. A lot of the games look awesome. Mario Kart looks really cool. A lot of the tracks look cool. Stuff about that looks very exciting. It's cool that it's open world. Um, Donkey Kong looks really interesting. A lot of the other game announcements look really cool. I like that they're finally adding GameCube games to the online lineup of games that they do, which is really fun. It's disappointing to me personally that it's only going to be on the Switch 2 for GameCube games because I really want to play Wind Waker on there, but I understand why they did it. You know, nothing with that doesn't make sense. There are a couple things that don't make sense to me that I want to get into. That's like the meat of this video that I really want to talk about. The main thing is the price on this thing is crazy, and the just explanation and conversation from Nintendo is kind of all over the place. So I kind of want to just talk about that, process that for myself as I talk to the camera about it. The price of the console is $450 in the US plus tax, you know, probably closer to, I don't know how much tax is, like somewhere between $450 and $500. That was never a huge deal. That makes sense. I was hoping closer to the $400 range, but $450 is reasonable. And then adding on the new Mario Kart World to that for $500 makes sense. It's putting Nintendo in a lot more expensive price bracket. It's a lot more expensive than a original Switch, but that console also came out in 2017. So it makes sense that they would want to do something more expensive for that. What doesn't really make sense to me is games in the $80 price range like Mario Kart World. I've seen a lot of conversation online already that makes sense with how big of a game it is, all the new added features. And while I understand that argument, there are also huge games that come out now that are $60. And with the ballooning prices of video games, it makes sense. But it's something that's worrisome to me for Nintendo to be the people leading the charge for this price increase from $60 as the standard to $80. Because Nintendo doesn't really discount their games, and yeah, other people are going to see this and probably do the same thing with their games. Different developers, publishers, console environments as a whole. I could see PlayStation or Xbox moving forward with this new trend, or other large developers like 2K or Rockstar, you know, stuff like that. People have been saying Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be 100 plus for forever, and I think this could confirm those rumors just with Nintendo leading that charge. While a price increase isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world, I think it makes sense that games were going to be moving towards $70 just with the costs of things. I don't think $80 is the best. And I know not all of these games in the Switch 2 lineup are going to be $80. The new Donkey Kong seems to be only $70. And other games that are listed are probably around the same price. Mario Kart is probably a special case, but it seems a little bit of a slippery slope to me. And, you know, $70 games, including taxes, are going to be closer to $80 already. So that's tough for Nintendo being the sort of family game station for a lot of people. Families can't afford a ton of games at that range. So I'm curious to see what they do with that, like how well that's going to work out for them, if there's going to be a bunch of backlash, because I've seen online a bunch of people being really angry about this, and then a lot of people arguing that this is a good and right thing, and that this is the way the games industry is going. So it'll be interesting to see how this works out for Nintendo. A couple other things though, I mean, the games are more expensive, but then a lot of the accessories are more expensive as well, which, while I understand, I would like it to be one or the other, you know? Nintendo has to make their money, but it'd be nice if there was a little give and take so the consumers still feel like they're getting a good deal. The console is relatively okay priced, but everything else is also relatively expensive, so it adds up really quickly. I mean, just looking at some of these accessories that I just have pulled up, I mean, a Pro controller for the Switch 2 is $80, which I feel like is fairly standard for controllers now, but that's not backwards compatible, even though it's almost exactly the same as the Pro controller for the Switch 1. Joy-Cons are $90, which crazy to me that they're more expensive than the Pro controller, but I guess there's more stuff built into a smaller package, so that kind of makes sense. Charging grip, $40 or $35. Straps are $13. Joy-Con wheel, $20. I mean, that's just a piece of plastic for the most part. The camera, $50 is mostly fine. Dock, $100. Carrying case, $35, not too bad. Even the AC adapter, $30. All these things are sort of becoming standard, but it is also still disappointing to see this from Nintendo. You would like to see more manageable prices for the console manufacturer that is supposed to be more family friendly. And you can argue that they don't put that label on themselves. That's something people sort of put on for them, but it's still a label on them. And they are a leader in the industry. So these prices are going to be reflected and ripple out to other people, like I've said before, other manufacturers and other third-party people as well, resellers. Things are going to go up when we're already in kind of a not great financial situation. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we go from here. Another kind of crazy thing was their tie-in game, which is sort of supposed to be a showcase of the Switch 2. I forget the name of it, but I'll put it up on screen somewhere. That is not really a tie-in game. It does cost money, which is sort of crazy because it seemed like they're kind of echoing Astrobot a little bit, at least with recent like console showcase games. And Astrobot was free and came with the PS5. At least for that first Astrobot game. And it was like a full-on 3D platformer. And from what we've seen from this Nintendo one, at least, it doesn't look, all that interesting. It looks like something that I would play if it was there, but I'm not just going to, pay for that. So I'm interested to see why they think that was a good idea. It's weird to me. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I mean, I guess we'll see if that's something people like. Yeah, that was one strange thing when I was watching the Nintendo Direct. There was a lot of strange things where I was like, this is great, and then we aren't hearing about the price with a lot of things, and then once we do later on, it wasn't super great. So yeah, it was confusing, and a little bit of a letdown in that way, which is annoying because there was a lot of great things released, a lot of awesome games. The one I was most likely looking forward to was a new 3D Mario game. I feel like those are mostly usually released with new Nintendo consoles, new mainline Mario games. And there wasn't one announced, but I'm sure there is one coming end of year or next year. I'm not in a huge rush to get this thing, just given the prices. So I'm sure that'll come. I think Mario Kart World and the new Donkey Kong game sort of combined to take over that mainline Mario game placeholder, which makes sense. The Donkey Kong game looks great. It doesn't look like something I would play immediately. I'm still confused exactly what the game will be about besides destroying things, but that does look fun. And I'm not a huge Mario Kart guy, but it does look fun as well. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure they'll be great, but I don't know if I'll be getting this console right away, just given the prices that we're seeing right now. And, we'll have to wait and see if there's any pushback on that, if anything changes in the next few months when this stuff comes out on June 5th. But I'm guessing that Nintendo is going to hold pretty firm on this, and people will just be buying it because that's what the price was set at, obviously. I don't know. There was also some talk about some of the Switch games physically being more expensive at $90. I don't know if that's actually true. It seems like that's probably not true. It would be horrible. I love collecting physical games. I know at what point does it actually happen where physical games even matter? If they're actually on the game cartridge is something I think about a lot. And Nintendo is really making us think about that with the whole game card situation where you are downloading the game, but then using the game card as a game key. I don't know. It's curious. I don't think the $90 price is something that we'll have to see yet, but if Nintendo isn't pushing the $90 price, that they're only pushing $80, it might be a matter of time until we see someone pushing 90. So who knows? That's all I really wanted to talk about with this. I'm curious what you guys think about the Switch 2. Are you excited? Are you going to get it? Are you going to wait? I'm probably going to wait 6 to 12 months at least Maybe I'll split it with someone, get a Switch 2 to share with my girlfriend. I don't know. The way I see it, there's a lot of games in Nintendo's catalog that I have to play anyway, that I haven't gotten around to. I was always a PlayStation kid, so I have a lot of stuff to catch up on. Maybe I don't need this right away. Maybe you don't need this right away, but maybe you do. Who knows? Let me know down in the comments. I hope that this was helpful to you in some way. I mostly just wanted to air my grievances and talk about that. And yeah, sort of get some of that information out there. A lot of stuff is swirling on the internet right now about this. So we'll have to wait and see. It's a few months until the Switch 2 is out for everybody. And I think there's like a preview event pretty soon here as well. So we'll get some more information from like influencer type people as well. Yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video very shortly. And yeah, Switch 2 is coming out soon. Bye.